ELWAK military recruitment stampede. Honestly speaking, I think it's so sad that we have to come this far, or we had to come to this level that we are losing people, not just people, six promising people that want to serve their country. Why? Because there's unemployment. Yes, I know every country is battling with unemployment, but then Ghana, I think we should think outside the box because there's a lot of youth unemployment. So once there's an opportunity for any job, you can see that the youth in particular want to have the opportunity to serve at those various positions. And it is very, very bad. And I want to say this, looking at the fact that you know that the number is going to be great, the military hierarchy should have known better and divide the people into two. Yes, I know, or I've heard in the news that some people are supposed not to be there. They've scheduled some people to be in the afternoon, but they are there. Yeah, the thing is, the people need job. So they want to be there. They don't want to miss the opportunity. So me wanting job and you're telling me to come this day, I want to feel that no, Charlie, I have to hustle because I don't know the number that you are looking for, that I had to be home and be waiting. That, yeah, in as much as I condemn the people coming there, but then I think we should have put in a very good measure that we will be able to address this thing, because losing six people, six strong girls, it's very sad. It's very pathetic. And I want to commend the president for swiftly moving angels to check on the affected victims that were at the hospital. Then he went to the hospital and also pledged that all their bills will be taken care of. That's a good showmanship, or just a show of a leadership. We want to commend him for that. But I think going forward as a country, we need to digitalize this thing. There are advanced countries that they digitalize this recruitment process. There are centers that people just go and submit themselves just to serve their country. We shouldn't be. The one thing that I'm also against is, why should we take money from people that want to work or serve their country? It's some way. We have to sell military form for people, sell forms for people before. Charlie, as a country, I think like we shouldn't be taking money from people to recruit them, because the people need job or they are going to serve the country. So why then do we have to take money from them before they go into that or go into the security services? I'm of the view that that should be scrapped, and there should be centers that when the government want to recruit people, or somebody is of the view that I can serve my country, you can just walk there, submit yourself, because in the Western world, that's what people do. You don't see them floating anything. That you submit yourself that you want to serve the country. They will go through the process. Once you are qualified, Charlie, you go through training and you are recruited. So as a country, we need to think of the digitalization of the whole process, so that at least we can be able to manage the crowd, because it is so pathetic that we have to lose these people that are interested in serving this country. And it's a bad thing that we have to come this far as a country. So Charlie, Ghana, let's do the right thing, or let's think of advanced ways of doing this thing, so that at the end of the day, we will not have to come to this route again, having to lose people. It is so bad that we don't have to come to this. And I don't want to thank government officials that went ahead to check up on people and paying for the bill of people. And I want to commend Parliament also, the Speaker of Parliament. He also presented a cash of 100,000 Ghana cedis to take care of the affected victims, some of the injured victims that are still at the hospital. As of today, 3 people were out of ICU. That's a good thing. At least those that survive will have a story to tell one day, that they got injured trying to work or trying to serve their country, Mother Ghana. So I want to commend the Speaker of Parliament for a show of leadership. That's well thoughtful of them. And I want to thank the Minister of Defense. I want to thank the Minister of Minister of Gender, also went ahead. I want to thank the Vice President, Jenana Opukwajeman, for also showing leadership, going to visit those affected victims at the hospital. And what also was announced by the Deputy Minister of Defense, Broja Jemfi, was that all the 6 people that died, their families should present at least one person each, so that it could use to replace them. Yes, I for one think it's a form of compensation, but then that's the only way to go, just to compensate the family for the loss. But then going forward, let's do our possible best so that we can avoid all these things from happening. I will not come to this crossroad again. This also on a sad note that we lost 8 gallant Ghanaians who are also discharging their duty or are on their way to discharge their duty for Mother Ghana. That fateful day that we lost those 8 people through the helicopter crash. Ghana came to a standstill on that very day when the issue broke up that we lost 8 gallant men who were on their way for a program of galamsey or to launch a cooperative mining this program that was being launched in Kumasi. And unfortunately, when they are flying, the helicopter crashed and we lost the 8 people on board. For this, sadly, we lost our defense minister, who is Nicholas Edward Omanibuama. We lost him. We lost the then Minister of Energy, Environment and Sustenance. I think Minister of Energy, Environment. We lost him. Muntala Mohammed. We lost him. We lost the Deputy NADMO of boss or director. We lost the flying officer, the 2 flying officers. We lost the deputy national chairman of the NDC. And Charlie, it was so sad that the president couldn't get out of that easily. It was a very big moment or a very big blow to the NDC because they've lost one of their master tacticians. Looking at the 2024 election, Omani Buama was there out. It was the master tactician operation, activate all body cam and stuff like that. So you could tell how big that blow is for the country or is for the NDC fraternity. So quickly, when the incident happened, I think they formed a committee to go into the cause of the crash. And every Ghanaian was anticipating that, yes, they will come with the report. They took the black box of the helicopter to China because that's where the helicopter was made. They took it to China and they recovered the data. And after carefully examining, they came to the conclusion on after other evidence or other interrogations and other things that they've done, they came to the conclusion that the helicopter crashed because of weather. The weather is the cause of the crash of the helicopter. Yes, they say we don't have anything to say. So you and I are not the technocrats, or we don't know much about that. So we just have to take in the report of the committee as it comes that it is the weather that caused the aircraft or the helicopter to fall. And they also stated that when you look at the flying records of the 2 officers, they flew those the same helicopter before on so many occasions. So it's not the case that they are not capable of flying that helicopter. So they also went into their lifestyle, they went into their health and stuff like that. They have no issue with that. So as the report came, we were told that it was the bad weather that caused, or dam draft that caused the helicopter to fall or to crash. So we made the soul of those 8 departed rest, and per the recommendation of the committee, they recommend that there should be a retooling of the military, which the government also announced in their 2026 budget that they are going to procure 4 new helicopters for the Ghana Air Force. They also asked that they should advance, or there should be a modern equipment in this aviation center or in the, so that they could be able to do flight monitoring and stuff like that, because per their report they said there's no flight monitoring this and that can monitor the helicopter and stuff or other military aircraft. So they also suggested that. So Charlie, we want to say rest in peace to all those 8 gallant men that lost their lives in the duty or discharging their duty for Mother Ghana. May they so rest in peace. It's our hope that we will not come to this topic again to discuss, because Charlie, losing 8 people in a helicopter crash is a very bad thing or to talk about. So Charlie, we wish them all the best as a government to be able to implement all the recommendations that have been given by the committee, so that at the end of the day, the airspace or the Ghana Air Force will be safe for all the VVIPs that normally fly the helicopters to some various assignments, so that at the end of the day, we will not come to this topic again. Here, as we all know, the 2026 budget was presented last week in Parliament, and Charlie, trust me, there are a section of Ghanaians that are praising the finance minister at Kesela Forcing for bringing a comprehensive budget statement, which they think is going to help them going forward 2026. And there are a lot of things that was presented in the budget. Charlie, trust me, there are promises of 800,000 jobs for the youth. There are allocations for farmer service centers, or for 50 farmer service centers where equipment will be procured for farming communities to use, plowers and all sort of machines that can use to yield agriculture. And they are making a lot of promise in the agricultural sector to transform or to make us grow and feed our own people. And they also making allocation for building of some schools in that budget over there. And they are also making allocation to continue some of the agenda 111 hospitals that are left by the previous government, which is the NPP government. They are also making allocation to build another thermal plant for 1,200 capacity of plants that can also come in and support our electrical problems. They also promise to build some of the hospitals or regional hospitals. They promise to build some of the stadiums and stuff like that. And when you look at the budget, you could see that the basic education interventions that are going to be rolled out by this NDC government, they said they are going to do 200 new junior high schools. They are going to do 200 new primary schools. They are going to do 200 new kindergarten. They are going to do 400 4-unit teacher bungalow, and they are going to do 400 places of convenience in underserved communities. And going forward, they are going to provide in the 2026 budget, as read by the Minister of Finance, Kesela Forcing, they said they are going to provide four sets of KG books and workbooks for about 1 million learners. And they are going to provide 4 sets of primary textbooks for 2 million learners. And they are going to provide 9 sets of junior high school 3 textbooks for 1 million learners. And again, they are going to provide 2 million pieces of metal mono desks and chairs. They are going to provide 200 units of 66-seater buses. They are going to provide 200 double cabin pickups and 50 saloon cars. This is just for the health sector, or these are some of the things that they are going to do for the health sector. When you look at the health sector, you're going to see they are going to do or continue the La General Hospital, Efiam Kwanta Hospital in the Sekendi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly. They are going to continue with the Konfuanoche maternity block. They are going to continue with the Ashanti Regional Hospital in Sewua. That is some of the things they are going to do in the health sector as provided in the budget. And also they are going to do what we call Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which they've already launched. Let's go into the allocation in the budget. How much government is allocating for whatever thing that they are promising. So when you look into the budget, you could see that they've allocated 110 million Ghana cedis for 24-hour economy model. So that means they are making available 110 million Ghana cedis to kickstart their flagship program, which is the 24-hour economy. When you look into the budget, you could see that they've made allocation of 245 million in 26 for Ministry of Food and Agriculture. And out of this, they are going to do, I think that's palm nut cultivation and stuff. They want to advance production of palm oil and stuff so that they could reduce the importation of palm oil. They also believe that when they do that, it's going to generate a lot of job opportunities for people in Ghana. And also they are making allocation of 6.9 billion oil for oil palm, as I also discussed, or as I said earlier. They are dedicating 6.9 billion oil palm finance window to support the implementation of national policy or integrated oil palm development from 2026 to 2032. That is it. And they are making allocation of 828 million Ghana cedis for the construction of 1,000 of agriculture enclave roads. That means they are going to construct 100 kilometers, and 100 kilometers of agricultural roads, and they are making allocation of 828 million Ghana cedis for that. When you look into the budget again, they are allocating 200 million Ghana cedis for Ghana Buffer Stock Company to purchase glass in foot. This one, I think it's a very good thing, because making allocation of 200 million Ghana cedis for Ghana Buffer Stock is good, because there are post-harvest loss we are seen around the country, and rice farmers are complaining, tomato farmers are complaining, onion farmers are complaining. So I think the allocation of 200 million Ghana cedis is a step in the right direction for them to mop up all those excess food in the economy or in the country, so that at least it can be stored whenever we need it. We can go for it. And I also want to commend the government for directing that school feeding caterers should also produce or procure from local manufacturers or local producers, so that at least we eat our own thing that we produce. It's not always going out to buy from people that are importing into the country. So when you go into the budget again, you see they are making allocation of 690 million Ghana cedis to commence the operationalization of the farmer service centers. As I stated earlier, the farmer service centers, they are going to buy some modernized or advanced farming material, gadget or equipment for them to be used in those their farming activities. So I think this in the right direction, making allocation of 690 million Ghana cedis for the commercialization or operationalization of the farmer service centers. And also when you get into the budget, you could see that they are making allocation of 2 billion Ghana cedis for the phase 1 of the rural electrification on acceleration and urban intensification initiative in 2026. That means probably there are places that they are not connected to the national grid. So it's good that when these things come into friction 2026, they are underserved communities also be connected to the national grid, or they will also be able to enjoy the power in their community. When you look into the budget again, they are making an allocation of 15.2 billion Ghana cedis for energy sector shortfall payments. You know, the energy sector has been a topic of discussion for a long time right now. IPPs are demanding their monies and stuff like that. So government is making an allocation of 15.2 billion Ghana cedis for energy sector shortfall. And also they are making an allocation for 4.8 billion to pay legacy IPP debts. This, you all know, there are a lot of IPPs, independent power producers, are on the government that they want their money paid. Other than that, they will shut down their production. And when they shut down their production, Charlie, the country is going to go doom, because there will be doom. So the government making allocation for them is also a nice thing to say. They are also making allocation of 4.3 billion in the budget to the Ministry of Roads and Highways for road construction. I think this also because I think with the big push agenda that the president is bringing on board, making an allocation for 4.3 billion Ghana cedis to continue those big push agenda, agenda will be a very good thing. And also when you look into the budget, you could see that they are making 4.2 billion allocation for the implementation of free senior secondary education, or free senior secondary education in 2026. Free SHS, they are making an allocation for 4.2 billion in the budget, which is the 2026 budget. And luckily enough, or whatever they said that I love, is that by 2027 they are going to end double track. So they are making allocation of some money to advance the infrastructure drive in some of these secondary schools, so that the intake can be able to, or they can absorb the numbers, so that the the double track system will end. And when you look into the budget, they are making an allocation for 1.1 billion under Ghana secondary learning improvement program, so that at the end of the day, by 2027, they can abolish the double track in the system. When you look into the budget again, they are making allocation of 537 million Ghana cedis for no fee stress. No fee stress just simply is you are SHS graduate and you are going to the university for the first time. The government is going to absorb your admission fee for the first year for you. So no fee stress. They've made allocation of 537 million Ghana cedis in their budget. And when you also look into the budget, they are making an allocation of 25 million Ghana cedis for free tertiary education for person with disability. Person with disability, we know that it's very hard for them to access fund and stuff like that. So the government, in his campaign promise, said that he will be able to absorb the fees or make sure that people living with disabilities, they go to free tertiary school for free. And by the promise, he has made allocation of 25 million Ghana cedis for that purpose. So Charlie, there's a lot of things that are in the budget that we can still digest, but then let me just bring those few ones to the attention. The CJ, or the Chief Justice nomination that the President John Dramani Mahama has nominated, or whosoever he has chosen, which is the Paul Bafo is the one that he has chosen. He has chosen to be the Chief Justice of Ghana. And before him being appointed as the Chief Justice, we know that there's somebody that was there who is Arabasa Kitokuno. She was the one that is filed a petition against her that she has done a lot of things. She has mismanaged some of the monies. She has paid for her daughter to go for foreign travel. She has paid for the husband to go for foreign travels and stuff like that. So there was a petition against her removal, which the president has taken those petitions and forwarded them to the Council of State Members. And after that, they voted that there is a case for her to answer. In law, they call it prima facie. That means there's something for you to answer. So quickly, when the prima facie case has been determined against you, what it is that you have to do is you have to vacate your post, or the president has to direct that you step aside so that you'll be investigated. Quickly, there was a committee that was formed to investigate or to go into the substantial issue or the main issue which has been brought against this Chief Justice or former Chief Justice, so to call. So when they went into the committee, that was 6-member committee that was chaired by Justice Scott Gabriel Puaman of the Supreme Court. There are likes of Domelevo, who was former Auditor General. They were there to go into the substantial issue when, after a lengthy or a various or several months of cross-examination and other stuffs, the committee came to the conclusion that the allegations or the petition brought against Chief Justice Tokuno is valid, or she has been found guilty of same or things that are in the petition. So quickly, the president ordered for her to be taken off for a removal, or quickly the recommendation in the report was that she should be taken off her post, and she has been taken off her post. So since then, there was one person that has to, because the position cannot be vacant. So definitely they need to bring in somebody. And guess who? They brought Paul Bafo, and per practice, the senior most person at the bench supposed to be the one to be the Chief Justice. So quickly, the president nominated or asked that Paul Bafo be in an acting position, or be acting as the Supreme Court or the Chief Justice, sorry. So he has been acting, and subsequently the president has nominated him to be the substantial Chief Justice. And with that, you have to go through parliamentary vetting, or you have to face the appointment committee and go through all vetting and stuff. But mind you, that wasn't the issue. When the former Chief Justice was removed, she has gone to the ECOWAS court, she has gone to the Supreme Court, she has gone to the High Court, and a lot of court processes that she has filed. Some, the process was dismissed. There were interlocutory injunctions that she wanted to place on her removal and stuff. She was turned down, or when they went to the court, all those things were turned down. Or she was the motions that she filed was dismissed. When Paul Bafo was nominated, there were these food for thought, or the minority in parliament said no, a president can never appoint somebody to be vetted to be the Chief Justice, because there are pending issues that are before the competent court of jurisdiction. So definitely they should go into that and make sure that all those cases were absorbed before they can swear in or they can nominate a new Chief Justice. To the point that the minority leader in Parliament, Kwamena Penyo Makin, Osahin, as he always likes to be called, has petitioned Parliament, or petitioned the Speaker of Parliament, that there should be a hold on the vetting of the Chief Justice nominee, who is a Paul Bafo, there should be a hold on with their vetting, because there are legal cases that are pending before courts that must be exhausted. And that very evening, Speaker of Parliament came to rule that no, the fact that another arm of government is working doesn't prevent another arm of government from working. So they can go ahead and do the needful with the vetting. And during that vetting, I will tell you, Charlie, a lot of things went on, because it was the word of the majority leader against the minority leader. Honestly, what they normally do is, before they go for vetting or they start the vetting, the leader of both sides give preliminary comments about whosoever or whatever agenda it is for the day. So upon the resumption of the vetting, the minority leader, who is Afanyo Maken, was given the opportunity to at least give a preliminary comment about the whole thing. That's then where he brought in the pending cases, which the chairman of the committee, Bernard Ahiafo, said no, those issues that were raised are before the competent court of jurisdiction, or moreover, those cases are not before them, so there's no way they can bring it. And when you see the majority leader, he is holding him to the feet that he is going to mark him boot for boot. He's going to make sure that he respects all the rules, because things that he's delving it, the minority leader is delving, is not part of whatever they are discussing, or it's not part of their agenda for the day. So it has become a tussle for a whole 3-4 hours. It has to become a banter between the majority and the minority and the chairman of the committee. But lo and behold, they were able to make their preliminary comments, and what happened was that they voted against the nomination of the president, who is Paul Bafo. It is their stated position that they in the minority think the former Chief Justice was removed unfairly. She was not heard, so there's no way they can vet or they can approve a nomination from the president, who is the Paul Bafo. There's no way they can be able to receive or to approve that person. So they are voting to register their protest against the removal of the former Chief Justice. So upon that, they left the sittings, and it's left with only the majority members on the panel or on the committee, and quickly they vetted the said gentleman, who is the Chief Justice Paul Bafo, and at the end of it, he was discharged. The report of the committee was brought to the Parliament, and it was recommended that the House approve the Chief Justice by majority decision. Then another issue happened I need to bring to your attention. Upon the submission of the report to Parliament, what they normally do is that they debate the report. After debating the report, they vote on the report. So the debate went on successfully. After the debate, the speaker put the question for those who are in favor of the reports as submitted by the appointment committee, say aye, and those that are against say no. So once they respond, the speaker said, think the ayes have it. So with that, the deputy majority whip Ahmed Habib stood up and challenged the voice vote, and it is stated in their standing order that once you are not satisfied with any ruling by the speaker, you challenge. Once it is a voting and you think the speaker didn't get it right, you can still challenge the speaker's decision. So what he did was to challenge the speaker's decision about the yes votes, and quickly, once he challenged it, he asked for a head count. That means each and every one that's in the house must be counted from their various parties. So they stood up, and NDC was counted first, which is they had the 169 members in Parliament, and after counting the MPP members in Parliament, they're about, I think, 63, 69 there about in Parliament. So through the head count, the majority decision goes to the NDC caucus, or the majority in Parliament. And with that, the said member of Parliament is not happy again, and quickly he asked for another thing, or he challenged the head count again, that there should be a separation, or kind of there's a term for it, which the speaker at the end of it didn't want to admit that for him, and at the end of it, the House approved the nomination of, or the said gentleman who is the Chief Justice, Paul Bafo-Boni. So as we currently speak, there's a new Chief Justice who has just been sworn in yesterday, and his name is Paul Bafo-Boni. He is one of the senior most at the bench. He served at the Supreme Court for 17 years. He has been somebody that works with the law or works at the law for I think 30 something years, and I think he's a well capable man to be at that place right now. So Charlie, we congratulate Paul Bafo-Boni to deliver justice. And through his speech, he made some profound statement that I think is good. And he also said that he will uphold the law and make sure that justice is served to all manner of persons expeditiously. So Charlie, we hold him to his faith. Whatever he says, Charlie, we just congratulate him and we want him the best, and we want him to deliver justice to all Ghanaians. Thanks for joining us, and catch us next time as we bring you live updates or trending news in politics.